You are tuned into Be Bold Radio, breaking barriers over lives daily. This is the place for you to learn strategies and tools to turn your business, your dreams, and your goals into a reality. Thanks for tuning into Be Bold Radio. This is your host, Dymeata B, and you're listening to episode number 132. In today's episode, I want to share with you a few hacks that I've been using and exercising in being more intentional with my day. You know, I went to Oprah's Vision 2020 tour in January, and it was, oh my God, it was just, I can't even explain the impact that she had on not just my life, but millions of other women's lives. And, you know, before December 31st, I always coin a word that I want to use or that I am focused on for the year. And my word was intention, being intentional, just being intentional. Well, my best friends, they flew to Charlotte and they came to, they went with me to the Oprah 2020 Vision 2020 or 2020 Vision Tour. And basically it was life changing. And so it just so happened that she was teaching on intention. And it just blessed me because, through this pandemic, I've been really been intentional about just my day-to-day life and I haven't been perfect, and I'm always remembering to just be intentional about this, be intentional about this project, be intentional about this book, be intentional about your sales. Like I'm thinking, be intentional about rest. And so I want to share with you, 10 ways, to live your life intentionally. Many of us, we just need to live our lives intentionally and not waver and wander around with no intent and no purpose. And so I just truly believe that we can be more effective and efficient and fulfilled when we are intentional. And the first point I want to make is I've learned and I've exercised on pushing the pause button in my life. Yep. Just pushing the pause button. And, this pandemic has forced everyone to push the pause button. But being a mom of a toddler and 2 teenagers, I had to intentionally press the pause button on a lot of things. And so there were times that I felt guilty. I felt like, oh my God, I'm not producing like I normally was. But I had to be intentional with my time and with my family. And so I had to press the pause button. I had to take minutes out of my day for me, for my sanity, for my peace, for my joy, for clarity. And so I'm encouraging you in your life. Many of you may work from home right now. Maybe you aren't working from home. You're an essential. Whatever you do, maybe you are an entrepreneur. But whatever you do, in order to be effective, you have to learn how to pause. Take 10 to 15 minutes out of your day. Take an hour out of your day and just pause and reflect. And just lately, I've just been taking naps. I don't even know how I found myself taking naps, but I'm just like, Dymeata, listen to your body. You can't even be effective in your business if you don't take a minute to pause. So I have been intentionally pausing and taking naps. I don't take whole long naps, but those naps are so refreshing for me. And I couldn't even remember the last time I took a nap. So be intentional. Learn how to be in the moment. When you press the pause button in your life, you are training your brain to be focused in that moment. I've had to press pause buttons just to play games with my kids, or just to listen to their day or what they learned in devotion. Whatever it is, I've had to be in that moment because my mind goes and goes and goes. And sometimes and I've had to learn not to be so multitask at everything anymore because I'm not as focused. So being in that moment and pressing a pause button has helped me to be more focused in the moment. And so I'm encouraging you to press the pause button. Press that pause button. Next, connect to your why. When you begin to intentionally be intentional, you're going to have to learn how to connect to your why. And that has helped me in my business, because even doing the podcast, there was a time I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should just stop. But I had to reconnect to my why. My mission is to break barriers off of lives daily. And this is one of the platforms that God has elected me to do that mission on. And so I had to reconnect to my why. My why is to break barriers off of lives daily, to break cycles, to help people, to deliver them from the slavery mindset, from the impoverished mindset, from the, that self-sabotaging mindset, from the mindset of their past, whatever it is. That is what God has called me to do. And this is one of the platforms. And so when I go back to that why, I get my passion back. I'm more intentional with what I talk about, more intentional with my work, my day-to-day routines, and what I do in helping people. And so it's time that you connect to your why again. What does your why and what you do, what does it really mean to you? Is your why, it doesn't even have to be that. Is your why is you want to travel? One of my whys is I want to be able to travel more with my family and with my husband. I want to be able to have more time, to do the things that I love to do. I want to be able to have control over my money. And I also want to leave a legacy for my children and my children's children. I want to be able to do the things that I love to do and at the same time generate income. That's my why. That's part of my why. And so when I get more engaged with my why and connect again with my why, I have a fresh momentum. Try it. The next one is, get in the feeling. Get in the feeling. What do I mean by that? Well, what do you feel when you talk about your why? For me, I feel empowered. I feel vibrant. I feel alive. I feel inspired. I feel radiant. I feel creative when I talk about my why. And I feel excited. There's an excitement that comes with connecting to my why. So get in that feeling when you begin to talk about, your why. Do you feel a calmness? When I think about traveling with my family and my husband, what do you feel? I feel calmness. I feel peace. I feel excitement. I feel joy. I feel relaxation. I feel relief. What do you feel? So get in the feels. That's the third one. Get in the feels. Okay? Because when you begin to feel it, then it's gonna become more alive to you. Another one is researching, being intentional, with your research is going to help you grow. What is it that you need to do? You want to do what goals do you have? Do you have a goal of maybe switching careers? Do you have a goal of losing weight? Do you have a goal of, adding something else to your business? What are your goals? What are your goals? And then when you figure out the goal, research. Because when you research, your goal becomes more intentional. Because now that you're researching and you're gaining information, you're going to be more intentional with following through. So that's what you need to do. Research. Take some time, 30, 40 minutes out of the day, and research on that particular goal that you are looking to accomplish. And then be proactive. That means get to work, execute. Don't be a collector of ideas. Be an executor of them. And, I talk to people all the time. They talk about this big idea that they have, but they won't execute. Why? Because they're not intentional with their ideas. And that's why at the beginning of this segment, I said, you got to connect to your why. When you connect to that why, you'll be more proactive. Don't just have these great ideas and they sit on the shelf and collect dust, but be an executor. Take one idea at a time. Do the doggone thing. Just do it. Another one that I've been exercising is practicing gratitude. Just being thankful. With everything that's going on around me, it slipped my mind rather, of being grateful. And I have so much to be grateful for. And they say what you focus on, you produce more of. It grows. Whatever you focus on grows. And I was focusing more on what I needed to do, what I didn't have, what I should have at this time, all of these things, instead of focusing on what I already had and what God has already gifted me with. And so now I put a notification on my phone where now that I'll get a notification. Thank you. Seriously, like it'll say thank you. And that reminds me to take that moment right now and thank God for something. In my book, Manifest It Now, there are affirmations. 30 days of affirmations. And then there's a things to do list. And there's an area where you are to write what you're grateful for every day. Because when you do that, you attract more of it. And it gives you a self-awareness of what God has already given you. And he can't bless you with more if you're not thankful for what you already have. So practicing gratitude is a way of being intentional throughout your day-to-day life and activities. Just put it on your phone like I do. Put it, just like you put everything else, you schedule everything else in your phone, for your daily routines. Why don't you schedule times to be grateful? Because sometimes we let it slip our mind. And that's how we fall into anxiety and depression and worry and fear, because we have taken our eyes off of what God has given us. And we're focused on what we aren't and what we don't have. And that begins to grow, and it manifests into depression and sadness. Because that's pretty much what it is, a lack of gratitude. Okay, let's go to the next one. Create habits and routines. Having routines can be a great way of helping you remain intentional. Like getting to the habit of journaling. This is something that I've been doing, and it's been so therapeutic for me. I used to do it years ago, and I just stopped. Well, I had to do something to let out my anger, anxiety, my fear, my frustration, and just to write down peaceful things, not just, oh my God, I just wish the kids would just leave me alone. Not just that, but really journaling, just talking to the inner me. So I've been creating a routine to do that every morning. Setting any kind of routine will remind you of your goals, and it keeps you connected to your path. Trust me, it keeps me connected when I set routines and habits, healthier habits. Morning routines for me, I don't like to work out in the morning anymore because my kids, right at their age and right now in my life, the morning is just not good for me. In the middle of the day, perfect for me. So I make sure that I'm incorporating regular exercise at least 4 times a week. Journaling, meditation, worship, prayer. Because I cannot navigate through the day without God's presence. And it's important that I pray and meditate. And I know when I'm off. When I don't include him, my day is off. It's off. So creating healthier habits will help you and me right now to be more intentional throughout my day. Another one is connect to people. I can be an introvert on so many levels. As extroverted as I am, sometimes I can be very introverted. And connecting to people is really, really, it's been great for me and my family. Our church, we have a wonderful church. I mean, it is my family. And so being able to connect with people has been so therapeutic, exciting, fulfilling, and heartwarming, for our families. And so I just believe that it's important that we connect with people. You cannot be an island unto yourself. And so find ways. Send out a text, call a person, call a friend, use Marco Polo, use Duo, whatever it is, connect to people. Don't isolate yourself. Also another way of connecting to people is when you're looking at them in their eyes when they're talking. Just being more intentional with that person and talking to them, and I can't lie. There has been times I've struggled with eye contact, and I've grown so much, y'all. I've grown so much, but now I'm intentional about when I'm talking to a person, that person in front of me, I am zoning in and I'm connecting to that person. So I'm intentional with that person by giving them eye contact. Another one is do nice things for somebody. Just do something, just a small act of kindness. Do something nice. I have some things on my mind, and write down, like a few things that you could do. They don't have to be expensive things, but do something. Be intentional with giving and sowing into somebody else's life. And you don't even realize that once you do it, you're going to feel a certain type of joy and fulfillment. And it gives you a moment to take your eyes off of your issues, your problems, your circumstances, your needs, and you're putting a smile on somebody else's face. That is part of intention. I like to send encouraging words to people and like speak into their lives, decree and declare in their lives. And it's fulfilling because it takes my mind off of what I need God to do in my life. And even tangible things, cash apping somebody or, sending them a card. One of my best friends sent me a card and it blessed my life at that moment. She didn't even know what I was dealing with mentally, and she sent a card. And she didn't put her name on it because she didn't want me to know at first. And it was just such a blessing. And I'm going to reciprocate that not only to her, but to others. It's just a small act of kindness. And so do something nice for somebody. Be thoughtful. Do what you can. Okay. Self-care. I've been practicing self-care, y'all. Once everything is safe to open again, the right way. Once I don't feel safe right now, like going to a masseuse, but eventually after this pandemic is over, and I'm praying to God that he sends a vaccine for, because we need it's some things that we need to get out of this house. It's just some things that I'm so used to doing and I can't do it. Getting a massage, that's self-care, y'all, that I love getting massages. And so you don't have to get a massage, but that is something that I like to do to treat myself. And also my body communicates with me. And right now my body is communicating, and I know and I listen to my body's needs. And so you have to pay attention to yourself when you're feeling stressed. Right now I know I can't go to a massage therapist, but I can stretch. I can do yoga. I don't really do yoga, but I can just do some yoga exercises, but stretch really good. Like I said, working out is so therapeutic for me. That's part of my self-care. And sometimes just going for a drive by myself, that's part of my self-care. That's what I do. It helps me mentally and physically. And so you have to pay attention to yourself and begin to indulge yourself in what makes you feel good, what makes you feel strong, what makes you feel relaxed. A nice bubble bath, whatever, some spa music playing, whatever. Just be true to you and listen to your body. Nurture yourself. So just to recap, pause. Learn how to press that pause button. Be in the moment. Connect to your why. Remind yourself every day what your reasons are for existing. Why do you do what you do? What's your why? Connect and be in that feelings. Feel all the feels. What emotions do you feel when you connect to your why? Research. You got to become a research junkie, because in whatever goals that you set for yourselves, because it's going to help you to be more intentional and help you to execute effectively. And then be proactive. You got to go for it. You just got to do it. You got to do it. Remember I said, do the doggone thing. Don't have, a whole shelf of ideas and you never execute. Be grateful. Stop. Remind yourself of something that you can be grateful for. Get in the habit. Get healthy, creative habits and routines. Create routines and habits, and it's going to help you to be more intentional. Connect with people. Listen to people. Give eye contact. Reach out to people. Be kind. Do something for someone else. And lastly, practice self-care. Until next time, continue to believe, be original, and live your dreams. Are you a leader, entrepreneur, author, or speaker? Did you have a lifestyle change that you want to share with the world? Do you have some helpful health tips that could change our life? Well, be a guest on the Be Bold Radio Show. Email us at beboldradio@gmail.com. Again, that's beboldradio@gmail.com.